Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to another Premier League predictions video. This is match day 31 of the Premier League. 7 more match weeks to go, as obviously we're counting down after what was an incredible week of exciting football, most certainly, which we'll get to in um, a second, but it is going to be an incredible end to the season. We are gonna have many big games still coming up, so let's enjoy these next 7 match days. Of course, we've got European football in between as well, so it's incredible. Of course, this week, midweek, we don't have any European football, so Premier League football will be put this midweek as well as this weekend. So more football. Real Madrid football will not happen until next midweek, which is essentially um, against Man City. So that's gonna be interesting. But let's go through my points last week. If you guys don't know how the point system works, half a point for every team I get correct, and I get 1 point for the correct score line. Starting off, it wasn't great. Newcastle West Ham, I said 1-1. It finished 4-3. What a game. It could have finished 3-3. It could have finished 3-1 to West Ham, but Newcastle coming back to win. Chelsea against Burnley, I said 3-0 Chelsea, and they absolutely somehow bottled it. Great, 2-2 draw it was. Sheffield United against Fulham, I said 2-0 Fulham, and I think it finished 3-3. So it was incredible. Nottingham Forest against Crystal Palace, I said 2-2. It finished 1-1, I think. So that's half a point. Bournemouth against Everton, I said 2-1 Bournemouth. It did finish 2-1 Bournemouth. So great. Spurs against Luton Town, I said 4-1. Not quite a 4-1, but a 2-1. Good enough. Aston Villa against Wolves, I said 3-1. It finished 2-0. The one that I was proud of the most, Brentford against Manchester United, I said 1-1. It did finish 1-1. Liverpool Brighton, I said 3-1 Liverpool. It finished 2-1. And Man City Arsenal, which was match of the week, I said 3-2 Man City. It finished a boring 0-0. So that was 4 points for match day 30. Let's start off with the first game, which would be Newcastle United against Everton. Now Newcastle United come into this game with alright form. They just beaten West Ham pretty late on. Everton away from home have been decent. They've been better, surprisingly, away than at home this season. They could definitely cost a bit of an upset. I'm going to say 3-2 Newcastle United. I think it will be a pretty high scoring game, as it seems to be these days with Newcastle. Nottingham Forest against Fulham at the City Ground. Fulham coming in, obviously playing pretty alright. Of course, they did go away to Sheffield United and picked up just a point. Nottingham Forest, of course, also picked up a point against Crystal Palace at home. So pretty cliche to say a 1-1 or 0-0. I'm gonna say a 1-0 away window for Fulham, because I see this being a tight game, a narrow game. Two teams that will play pretty well defensively, but it might just be one of those, games where it's gonna be a 1-0. Burnley against Wolves. I thought Burnley played really well against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Of course, now Vincent Kompany is not going to be on the sidelines. Of course, he picked up a red card. I see Wolves going away to Turf Moor and getting the job done. 2-0 to Wolves. Next up, Bournemouth against Crystal Palace. Bournemouth obviously beating Everton at home. Crystal Palace did go away to Nottingham Forest and draw. I'm going to say 3-1 Bournemouth. I have confidence that Bournemouth are capable of getting that result. Um, West Ham against Spurs next now. West Ham did obviously cause a lot of problems for Spurs last time out. Um, and Spurs were at home. They did ended up losing in December. So it is essential that Spurs get back to form, get back to winning ways as well. Um, I think it will be very very tight. But I'm gonna say 2-1 to Spurs. Um, Obviously, West Ham went away to Newcastle and lost just. Next up, Brentford against Brighton. Now, Brentford played really, really well and deserved to have won against Manchester United. While Brighton went away to Anfield and started well, but they did score a bit too early, I would say. Um, Look, this has a 1-1 draw written all over it, so I'm gonna go with that. Um, Arsenal against Luton Town. I think Arsenal will win this game. I'm taking it 5-0. I just think they will absolutely smoke Luton Town. And Luton won't be, I don't think, actually, as easy as Sheffield United, Burnley, even West Ham. But I do think that Arsenal, when they are playing at their best, can score 5 against these sort of teams, even though they might be more solid defensively than others. Match of the week, arguably, you've got 2 games. Firstly, Man City against Aston Villa. A lot of people saying Villa will get something, but you're talking about Man City at the Etihad. I know Arsenal went there and played well defensively and got the point. I know Man City are vulnerable, as I've said before in my last video, but this is still Man City, and Aston Villa's away from particularly great. I would say recently away from home they've been better than at home actually, but I think Man City just get the job done. But I'm gonna say 3-1 Man City. It's not gonna be easy for Man City, but we always say that about Man City when they do take on these sort of teams. So I think they will get a big win there. Liverpool against Sheffield United. This could be 9-0. This really could be. I'm thinking what to predict here. Anfield as well, so they could smoke them. I'm gonna put it 8-0. I'm gonna predict 8-0 for the first time I think ever. I think Liverpool will they will smoke Sheffield United. I think there will be Arsenal and Liverpool will smoke these 2 games. So Man City have to really really get that job done against Aston Villa. And lastly, I would say the battle for the mid-table. Really, Chelsea against Manchester United. Watched these 2 sides play. Absolutely tragic. But for Chelsea, at home against Burnley, down to 10 men, no manager, to still come away with just a point, disappointing. But then you look at Manchester United, away from home against Brentford, they could have lost that game 4-0. So you're not really picking one here. You know what? I'm gonna go with a 0-0 draw. I genuinely think it's gonna be the most boring game ever. Really, I do. I really do. These 2 sides, they might score, they might get a 1-1, but honestly, there's really nothing to play for either sides. I know United could still get like a Conference League, and they might get Conference League. Chelsea have nothing to play for anymore. They're not gonna sneak up into the Conference League or higher. So that is basically that for Chelsea. And it's rare that I do go for a 0-0 draw, because these games you expect goals, but these 2 sides are sides that don't score many goals. So it could be one of those games where they just cancel out each other. Neither side score. Both sides defend well, but neither side score, and it finished 0-0. But who knows? I think United, if they still want to get 5th, 6th, they have to obviously win this game. But let's see. But I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Hit the button if you did. Subscribe to the on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.